Hey, hey, good evening. I am Tony Blackman, and I'm here with the Lyrical Meditation Cipher Podcast Crew. Today in the building, we have Coach Shakia, Sanchel Brown, and Polaris, the queen of raps and Rubik's Cube. Um, we're all co hosts together, but I'll be leading the way. And, Lyrical Meditation Cipher Podcast was created because we believe that hip hop can be in alignment with wellness and with mindfulness and to help us to stay grounded and centered. And we practice that in each and every episode, right? Each episode has a meditation, a prayer, a cipher, of course, and then a conversation on the theme of the week. Sometimes we have special guest interviews, but tonight we've got a special guest co host from our fam, the one and only Sanchel Brown, who is a professionally trained dancer, movement specialist, certified nutritionist, and health coach who has the capacity to change your life, baby. That's right. You heard it here. And I'm surrounded by women who have the capacity to do that. But I'm really excited to get in this conversation because we're going to be looking at dance as a form of spirituality and movement as a form of healing. And there's no one better to talk about that with than Sanchel. But first, before we get into it, y'all know we have to do a meditation with our coach, Takia.
Let us find a comfortable position with our feet on the floor, palms face up on our laps. And you can either close your eyes or bring them to a soft gaze. And let's take a deep breath in and exhale. Deep breath in and exhale. And on this next breath in, see the breath entering every cell of your body. And as you exhale, allow all the stress and tension to seamlessly ooze from your body. Continue focusing on the breath and just allow the movement of this breath as it infuses every cell to remind you that movement is life. And as long as you have movement in your body, you have life. And what a gift. Allow this movement to continue to create a wave, a gentle wave, as the breath enters the nose and it rides all the way up into your head, infusing all the cells there with new life. And it flows down through your chest, into your arms, into your belly, into your hips. Let new life be embodied with each breath you take. And let us, in this moment, take 3 breaths together to solidify this embodiment. Inhale and exhale. Let any sounds come that need to come. Inhale and exhale. Let the body release all that no longer serves. Inhale and exhale. Let any movement in this moment that needs to happen, trust the body and allow it. And we are complete. Ashe. Breath is life. Movement is life.
My pleasure priority. I'm not like majority. I am open to the winds of change in my authority. Sacral chakra like the fire upon the message stress. Koti blockage like machete, true self I possess. My essence I express. I want it like the best. Ain't afraid of my creations as Sanchel the goddess. Back to the senses, living, breathing, so believe. Get back to the business. I create for more than trophies. My energy cosmetically appealing to the stars. I infuse my ingenuity in dance song and bars. Your kundalini rising, and I know that I'm the cause. Affecting the masses, but I don't need no applause. Pause. I got that juice of truth. What that sake will do. Free but far from loose. Energy give them boosts. Blue just throw them up. And my meditation daily and in fingernail. And my creativity will pay me.
Ah, sweet, sweaty romance. The heart, the rhythm, the trance. Fast, slow, igniting the soul. Spin, jump, green lit to go. Circles remind us we are whole. Shake, shimmy, swirl, every shape awakening pearls, unwinding, unbinding, rescending, portals of peace, unending, infinite dimensions under our feet. Soul to earth body, ions synchronizing our chi, eons of recognizing kings, queens, and chiefs, re-earthing, rebirthing, unhurting, hurling through time in that 4-6, hurtling the signs 333 magic, ride the lines, no need to force it, cadence divine, bodies no triplets. This music got me moving fast, sturdy, no slip. Release it, infuse it, become it. Getting younger at the cellular. Can't handle my vestibular. At 60, they'll continue to card me. If they can catch me, call me Shikari. We are dancing stars limited by only our scars, burning until we burn out or remember who we are. We embody what we let in and keep. With intention or unconsciously, gotta shed old energy, our daily duty to shape who we be. Miraculous vessel for expression, express what is pressing, let go of what is stressing. I'm a beacon for elevation, a channel for blessings. We are galaxies orbiting each other, talking across millions of miles with our hips. Whispers felt like thunder. Waves tell the story with more than our lips. Far more truth with every sip. Here, now, I release the fear that held me back. Here, now, I release the fear festering from lack. Here, now, I let go. When she didn't want me, when he didn't have my back, the journey it is to be black. The anger that comes rushing back, the sadness that weighs and stacks. Dance, move, move, dance. I come home, tune in, find my zone, and sing with my bones. I open my cells to free myself. I open my cells to free myself. I open my cells to free myself.
Mm. Dance for spiritual fitness, healing within. Let the music guide you, let the journey begin. In every movement, find solace and grace. Embrace the rhythm to keep the pace. In the rhythm of life, we find our flow. Dance is the language where our emotions glow. From the depths of our souls, we start to rise. With every step, we remove the mask, let go of the disguise. Yes. With each twist and turn, we release the pain. In the dance, we find our peace again. Through the beats of the drum, we find release. That is how we get still and find that inner peace. Dance for spiritual fitness and healing within. Let the music guide you, let the journey begin. In every movement, find solace and grace. Embrace the rhythm, feel the bass in your face. Feel the energy coursing through your veins. In the dance, we find freedom from the chains. From the depths of despair, we emerge brand new. With every step, with every move, we find our truth.
Make a move like vowel. Every vowel I pronounce makes a move from my lips to my tongue out my mouth. I doubt that if you tried it, you could ever leave us shaking. You're incompetent with consonants. Your words are constipated. I'm elated that you made it and surrounded by creatives. And no matter what the language, best believe our tongue is native. And energy contagious. We're moving and with greatness. If you like it, we invite you to surrender to the cadence. Yeah, that feels good.
All right, fire, fire, fire.
Loosen up the lyrical some word I can't think of.
The lyrical hips. You
Yeah,
loosening
there
up
it
the
is.
The
lyrical
lyrical linguinal area.
What she said?
Yes.
Kundalini. Your Kundalini's
Loins.
rising.
The
There it
loins.
is. How y'all doing?
Man, so this is a powerful, powerful topic. I'm so glad you're here, San, because I know this is your life's work. Understanding how
indeed.
spiritually is infused in every movement, especially African based, right?
Yes, yes. I mean, for me, I've been dancing for so long, and I started dancing in my living room floor with my mom, and training in the church always showed me that there was a spiritual pulse to everything that I do. So now, fast forward 20 some years later, after starting my first dance class, and I'm coming right back to spirit and back to the bigger picture, the bigger energy that's moving my cells, like you talked about the cells being rejuvenated and the wellness that comes from the cells. I've been really investigating the chakras and how we can move from a place where we can rejuvenate our own selves without having to have a lot of money, without having to have a lot of tools, just having your body and being able to use that to transform from the inside out.
That's
Well,
beautiful.
it's dope to be able to transition straight out of the cipher into like the rhythm and the movement and the rhymes of like we talk about it with our voices, right? But you're a professional at moving with your hits and your body. So you're going to talk to us, well, we're going to delve a little deeper into movement and dance and spiritual fitness and emotional healing. And I'm so excited to be able to transition from what we do so well in cipher into what you're teaching us to do so well in the movement of our bodies. This
Yes,
is
indeed.
exciting, Sanchel. So let's talk about it.
I'm excited to be here.
I'm just over here talking, y'all. My mic was muted. All right. No, but it's really interesting because I remember I didn't dance for a very long time. And then it was after I had surgery, the fibroid surgery, and I was still healing a bit. And I went to this it was a place called Fit for Dance. It's in Brooklyn. Lacey Chisholm owns it. And I remember going in there and the dancing with the women. It was a room full of women dancing. And one class was drums. The next time it was, we're in Crown Heights. We were in the center of Crown Heights. So you know what the music was like. Some flag waving, jump. But when I tell you that I felt my body healing, but it was because my mind was healing. So all the depression, the overthinking, the anxiety, it was the dance that took it away. Melted it
Yeah.
away. And it was just a powerful reminder of one of my greatest spiritual teachers. He gave me a prescription at one time when I was really sick, and the prescription was dance with drums.
Isn't that something?
And for so many people, there are a lot of people actually who suffer from depression for whom that is the only prescription.
Yeah.
Because it not just a release of serotonin, but also you enter into altered states of consciousness sometimes. But it's you moving all of yourself into this moment doesn't allow you to give focus to your past or the future, right? And so that's where suffering is.
Y'all making me want to self prescribe some dance.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing being around people who don't like to dance and don't allow themselves to dance feels really strange. It's as strange as people who don't play music in their homes.
Facts. That would freak me out.
And I know everybody's different. Everybody's different. But it doesn't work for me.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Growing up, I had a multitude of generations because my parents are like 15 years apart. So the kind of music that I heard was, it was so many ranges of it, and dancing was like the center of, I feel like in a lot of ways it was medicine. You know, we could be going through anything as a family, but when it was time, when the music started going, we started seeing my father do his jumping dance. We were always laughing him, or like I get in the middle of the circle and my sister come around. You know, when we are gathered in a way, like you said, we were dancing with the women and we're connecting, we had the energy. Yes, it is healing, and that's in our indigenous roots. That's what we've been doing since the beginning of time. But now, you know, we got so smart. We just in our heads a lot of times, and that's where a lot of dis-ease can
Yeah.
begin, because there's nowhere for it to move. So I'm glad
Sanchel,
you brought that up.
when did you get started on this path? I know it's one thing to be gifted and to grow up dancing. It's even another thing even to study it further in college, but to then commit to it, right? The
Mhm.
way that you have committed to it, and now to incorporate wellness into it. At what point on your path did that become clear for you? Was there something that happened? Something that you had to deal with on your path?
Yeah, well, I have I'm a mother now. In the last 4 years, I became a mother, and I think not being able to dance how I used to as a professional dancer. I've been doing this for 10 years professionally, and not having that movement, I had to reclaim my body in a whole new way. So I really started doing a lot of spiritual practices, but I was doing it separately. So I was doing my meditations, I was doing the chakra work, but I wasn't combining the two. So I started to ask myself the question, well, what if I actually put these things together? I was already doing dance medicine in my dance classes. I just didn't have the name or the word for it. But people will always leave the class and talk about, oh my God, I felt like a spiritual connection, even if I had said nothing about spirit. So I started to really investigate, okay, well, I'm seeing these themes come up. How can I make this work for myself? So last summer, I really started to dive deeper into, well, how do we merge the world of movement and the chakras, and being able to go all the way up through the different chakras through dance. And even though it felt like I was just making things up on my own, it
Mhm.
definitely changed my whole world around, because when we awaken our chakras, the kundalini energy, we say, I remove all that is not truth. So anything that was not truth in my life started to be removed. Things started to change around. And at some point I was like, wait, I don't know, maybe this was not a mistake, but I wasn't ready for all of that. So yeah, that transition into motherhood definitely got me to where I'm at now.
Mm, that's really
Serendipity, right?
beautiful.
Yes, indeed.
You know, sometimes spiritual downloads can feel like we're making it up,
Yeah.
but it's actually just you just have gaining access to the truth more and more.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. On some level, it was always there, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm. Mhm.
And
How
me and
much
Tony, we've
Question.
worked together before. You know, I've
Yeah.
I've worked with other clients more on the fitness space, and you know, different people had ailments in their bodies. Their ailments were going away, or they were getting better. So I
Mhm.
knew that there was something happening. You know, that was beyond like, okay, I have this regimen where I have to eat this, and then I have to work out like this, and then to be able to put it all together. I think there's something to say about that. You know.
Mhm. Well, we know that there's no disconnect between the mind and the body. I call it the mind body, right? Because if thoughts are energy, and so when we think a thought or we have a feeling, feelings are emotions, emotions are energy and motion. If they're not fully expressed, they have to go somewhere because energy isn't created or destroyed. So it if it's not fully expressed, then it gets suppressed and further depressed until it solidifies as something physical in the body. So we
Mhm.
have to have a way, whether it's dance or some kind of movement, to actually express.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. How do you create a safe space? Because for some people, the act of dancing is very vulnerable,
Hmm.
right? They feel really vulnerable. Like, how do you create a safe space for those people? I'll join you on the street corner in another country,
Yes.
but there's a lot of folks. I'm in Trader Joe's, maybe. getting down with the lady in aisle 7, but
I ain't mad at it.
how do you create a safe space for those folks?
Well, I definitely am a client of my own as well as a practitioner. So when I come into a session with a client, or clients, I am moving with them. I'm vulnerable with them. So if I'm forgetting steps with them, and I'm very honest about where I'm at physically. And I think that gives people the invitation to say, okay, well, I don't have to be a dancer. I just need to be able to move. So I
Mm,
try not to get too um convoluted with language and just really break it down. Move your elbow like this, break it down. You break it down bit by bit so that they can understand all
yeah.
that's happening in the motions. And then before they know it, they're dancing. So they can't even think about it too much. And I also have a part of my practice where I pray over the members of our body. And that also, I think, is an affirmation to self that
Mhm.
I honor you. I'm here for you. I will not abandon you during this time that I'm in this ceremony or in this practice. And from there, I feel like a lot of people feel a lot of ease. They feel more safe to be able to express themselves freely.
That's
Mm,
beautiful. How about people who maybe come and feel like they have rhythm blocks, like maybe they don't have rhythm or they didn't grow up believing that they had rhythm. Do you come across people like that?
A lot of people, all colors, ages, sizes, all
Mhm.
of it. And I think what I try to do, definitely connecting to the drum is so important, and being able to try rhythmic exercises with them, even with their clapping or just
Mhm.
step by step. And once they get that, then we just add on the next and add on the next. So this idea of adding on bit by bit layering, I think it has helped me a lot with all kinds of clients who just didn't feel like they even had any kind of connection to their body. One thing I always say is, you've been in this body all your life.
right.
So even if you never did this dance, you've
Mhm.
been functioning in this body all your life. So it's just changing how you do it in this moment.
How do you start though? Where does someone who doesn't know where to start, how would they start?
Well, I would say stillness, just like we started today when you had the
Mm,
meditation and you talked about internal movement. So if you turn on music and you're in stillness, then you can start to, I often tell my clients to move when it feels good. Don't move because you feel like you have to. Don't do what you think you should do. Just
mhm,
move when it feels good. If it's just you moving your chest forward, allow yourself to have that. So I really try to give a lot of space for people to feel awkward and to have no judgment and to move from a place that feels true to them. And I think over after time, they start to get a little bit more hang of, oh, this is my vessel. I can move it like this. I can connect to the music like that. I can connect to different rhythms in the music, because a lot of times we listen to music, we're not really hearing all the elements of it. There's so much that could be happening that we just miss because we just on that one beat. But
yeah.
there's a lot of other things that we can get into. And then now we got
Mm,
nuances. So, it's a
yeah.
lot to play with.
So you
Mhm.
make when you're talking it, I'm thinking about your event that's coming up on the 30th of March in Philadelphia, right?
Yes.
The ultimate Afro beats experience.
Woot
And
woot.
so I know it makes me think about like Polaris has this book, Raps and Rubik's Cube, and these playground rules for teachers and educators when she's doing professional development. So she got some play and fun for the educators. She has it for her students, and then Takia has this element of play and movement and playing the games that we played in school and all of these things. And now here you come with the ultimate Afro beats experience happening on the 30th in Philadelphia. And I love the theme that's happening here because all of these things are reminders to be human,
Mm.
reminders to address your humanity. And
Yes.
and I know that you started to study health and chakras and healing, and sometimes people get stuck there
Mhm.
and they don't create content or experiences that are accessible for people outside of the jargon. So what how did that idea come about? What led you? Because this sounds like it's something that's fun.
it It happened because I didn't always feel comfortable in the studio, but when I would go to the club and dance, I always felt like that was where I was seen, and that was where I got a lot of my seasoning, as you would say.
Okay. Her seasoning was so hot and spicy that it cut off her camera,
Short
but
circuited.
short circuit.
Stop
Listen,
pouring your sauce all
with
everything,
Sanchel,
Sanchel.
that
Keep
should
your
not
sauce.
surprise us.
Keep
I
your
told y'all
sauce
Sanchel
in your bowl.
is the fire. But I think that like Takia and I, we've been talking a lot about play and a lot about fun.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's part of the beauty of what Sanchel does, because she is such a good teacher, and she's patient in the way that she is able to teach repetition in the
Mm-hmm.
little small parts of a move. She breaks
Mm-hmm.
down the whole move. I was working with her on dance fitness and house dance, and because she teaches all these different what do you call them, forms or dance forms. But when you think about the play that dance does, well, how does that affect us, Takia? What does that give us?
So when you think about play,
Mhm.
play infuses our lives with access to our joy. It creates space for us to actually digest what we the information we take in, the relationships we have, because a lot of times when we're inundated with work and relating and trying to navigate and not actually, it's kind of the resting portion for our brain. It allows us to be in the moment and digest what our experiences, so that we can now assimilate our learnings and our wisdom.
Mhm. Yeah,
Without that space, then you just keep grinding, and a lot of times it can lead to overwhelm or
right,
feeling burnt out, rather
right.
than actually coming out of it and actually feeling rejuvenated and focused and clear.
Mm. Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's a solid point. I do have a question. I recognize, Sanchel, that first of all, you're a dope MC in addition to being a dope dancer,
Mm.
and I wonder, do you see the parallels between, like you mentioned, dancing in a circle? Do you see the parallels between the work we've done with Tony as far as the cipher is concerned, and how it crosses those lines into dancing? Is that something you're conscious of, or is that something that just naturally happens because you're in both spaces?
No, absolutely. I feel like working with the cipher has definitely opened me up to finding more of my holistic voice, kazunte, more of my holistic voice as a practitioner, and helping me to really understand my purpose and how I navigate, how I show up, even if I am teaching dance. Okay, I have all of these other elements that I'm bringing in around wellness. We've had so many conversations around wellness. Sometimes we're talking to the people, and I leave off of the conversation, and I'm like, I needed that for myself today. So I definitely feel like hold on, we've had doses of medicine that has definitely spread into my art.
And I imagine too, Sancho, that having baby energy in your space also informs your work. And because patience is something that when you're in deep practice of it, like when you have a child, it oozes from you and it comes more easily when you're teaching. Does that feel true for you?
Definitely. I definitely feel like, especially teaching younger students, I have a
Mhm.
lot more understanding of all the excitement that they get into. And,
Hmm.
and I'm like, okay, I have this with a toddler. Y'all are older. I can do this. Yes, it's an
That's
everyday
percent.
practice.
Guy like Polaris has like 50 kids, and
Hmm.
with her,
My babies.
middle schoolers that she calls her babies. And I was like, dang, you got a lot of kids, in addition
Yes.
to the two at home.
That's
You
my
don't know which one
babies.
you're going to get which day.
Facts.
No, and
Is she showing interest and desire to dance herself? Like, is that something that she's
Absolutely.
developing for herself? That's
Yeah, yes.
beautiful.
We're starting to do one-on-one sessions. And she's teaching me some things she's learned about Sabar when she spent some time in Senegal. So she understands the breakdown in the. She keeps me hip on what's out, what's hip. I'm
I
like, wait a
love it.
minute.
I love it.
Yeah, I
Amazing.
guess it's, I guess
Right.
it's inevitable.
I bet. So I'm wondering, okay, so how do we bring this all together? So we all are wordsmiths. We do our thing with the words and then move with the body. What advice, Sanchel, would you give to someone who hasn't moved in a long time? Like what give us 5 steps. Oh, Polaris said she raised her hand. Give Polaris 5 steps that she can practice, something she could do, 3 to 5 days a week. What is that?
I would definitely say take time to sit in quiet and scan your body internally. That's one practice you can do. It doesn't have to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
I will also say put on your favorite songs
Mhm.
and get in the mirror. If you can be in your birthday suit, even better.
Make it.
And come to a place of full acceptance of everything that you see and allow yourself to move. That's number 2. Number 3, I would say to practice isolation. So things that help remove tension, head rolls, shoulder rolls, chest rolls. We don't use this part of our body a lot. So when we're in class and I'm doing this, going side to side, isolation is difficult. So, allowing yourself to have that. Number
Yeah.
4, when you're walking, be very present with your gait, meaning like pressing your heel down through your toe. You can have moments when you really feel yourself standing through the ground like a tree.
Mhm.
How can you be more rooted? Because if you can be rooted, then when it's time to move, you're ready.
Yes.
And number 5, I would say maybe to riff off of your favorite song, if you can sing. And for you, Polaris, you rhyme. So if you have music that you like to create with your mouth, or if it's sounds that you like to create, or if it's rhythms that you like to create, that could be something fun that you could play around with.
Word. I like all that. I can do all that.
all that,
I
all that.
I love this idea of walking with your feet, like really using it to get rooted. And I remember Dunham technique with Dr. Johnson, Sherelle Berriman Miller Johnson at Howard.
Wow.
She found out how because she worked with Catherine Dunham. She was very serious, make everybody uncomfortable serious. But I'm telling you, I learned so much from her about movement, the body, the spine, the feet, and how to use that to prepare myself for any scenario on stage, public speaking, our performance. And it's one of those things where I feel like I hate that the schools in our country do not support the arts properly.
Mm-hmm.
And I just
Girl, don't you get
imagine
me started.
I oh yes, she's in the school system, in the classroom. God bless you. God bless you. God bless you, Miss Crowder. God bless you. But I just that's right, Zoe. That's
That's
right.
right.
God
God
bless her.
bless you.
But what would happen if dance were a part of the curriculum, right?
Oh,
Everywhere. And I'm not talking about that funky square dance they make you do in 7th
mm-mm.
grade. But I mean like dancing.
Yes.
And that it's treated as a subject, not as something to do in PE, but all the nuances and the dynamics and the science of the body and the science of the anatomy and what's affected psychologically, what happens biochemically within, what a difference that would make in our country with
That's
I
regards to
phenomenal.
mental health, to
100%.
violence,
Mhm.
people being able to get along.
Mhm.
And yeah, it can be so frustrating at times to think it sounds simplistic, but it's really deep. It's not.
It's what we need. We need more connection, more empathy, more self-expression in healthy ways.
Yeah.
Ways to navigate feelings of depression, to bring us into the moment. We need all of that. It builds confidence.
Mhm.
actually helps us relate to each other when we don't necessarily have common ground in other ways. I mean, it would be massive.
Right.
Yeah,
LMC,
and
that
very
was
natural. Because you think about a lot of animals when they mate, they do mate dances. To pull people in. So it's like this is all a part of the cycle of life. It's all a
Yeah.
part of why we're all here.
Mhm.
So I
you.
think sometimes because we're cut off from that, we lose a part of ourselves that
Ooh.
is definitely is dire. And that's why we have so many mental health, and we have so many things coming up this ease because we're not in natural order.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you said something that almost sounds counterintuitive, which is what makes it so dope. You said your step number one was to sit in silence and scan your body internally.
Yeah.
And imagine equipping young students with the ability to just do that one thing, to
Mhm.
sit in silence and scan your body in preparation for actual movement. Like
Mm.
it's almost, it sounds counterproductive, but it's like a huge necessity for being able to move forward as far as your physical body is concerned. And I think that was like an eye opener for me. That was like an aha moment for me.
Yeah, the
Mhm.
stillness and the breath are game
Mhm.
changers for every single thing we do in life.
Mhm.
Stillness and breathing, paying attention to your breathing, game changers for every single thing. And too often we adults forget. We
Yeah,
grown
Guilty.
folks forget.
we need a foundation of awareness. And
Yeah.
so much of our focus is external that we need to bring it back in so that we actually know how we are. A lot of times I find that when people get asked, "How are you?" Sometimes they might shirk it off and say, "Oh, I'm fine," out of either they don't think that the person really wants an answer, but
Yeah.
more than that, I think it's that they don't actually know how they are.
Right, right,
They
right.
don't know what to say because they maybe have conflicting feelings. Like they may have a experience that's happening that seems like it's taking over their life, but in
Yeah,
some ways they also feel good. They don't know how to answer the question. So
yeah.
Mm.
until they go internally and get clarity on how they really are, they just say fine.
Right, 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 right. Yeah, yeah. They
You
say,
know?
isn't that crazy? And it's so crazy. And so how many times I have a song that talks about in 9 times I lied. Like, you ask how I'm doing, and I say, "Fine," and I done lied for the ninth time.
Mm,
Like, we're not
Mm.
honoring our truth, we're not telling our truth. It's one of the things that I am how I discern who is safe for me,
mhm,
who are safe spaces for me, are the people who, when they ask that question, they care to listen. Even if I don't care to share, me knowing
mhm,
that they care to listen, I'm oversharing recovery, but let's say in the times, the rare moments I don't care to share, the fact that they care to
mhm,
listen makes a difference in terms of how I feel, in terms of safety, and it's also helped me reconfigure, um, what my inner circles are like, because there are people who could care less. And, I
Facts.
think that's a part of it. It's just so important. These little things make a big difference in our peace of mind and how we live our lives. And that's why this movement is so important. I'm so passionate about it. And the thing is, like Takia, I've worked with Takia before, and I've worked with Sanchel before, and both were over Zoom. And so there's this thing where there's no more excuses.
mm-mm.
You don't have
Mm-hmm.
to go to
Nope.
a place to get a thing done. You don't have to leave your living
Mhm,
room to move your body. There are no excuses. You don't even need a tequila or a Sanchel. You got YouTube. Move your body.
yes.
Yeah.
Move.
Hey, speaking of
Move.
which, real quick. So I was looking for a video this weekend. I was like, I worked out, and the adrenaline was pumping, the endorphins was popping, and I was like, all right, I'm not done. I'm gonna dance. Said, child, I gained a whole new appreciation for what it is you do, sweetheart. Because I wanted to move. My hips was like, maybe not today, maybe not this. So I want to say that I genuinely and authentically appreciate what it is you bring to folks to make that transition from stiffness to movement so effortless. Because that's not an easy thing to do for many people, no matter regardless of age. So
Yeah.
I want to express, I want to name that I do have a genuine appreciation for what you offer. She get it. She on the same page, she know.
That's right.
So I'm wondering in the cipher in the cipher.
Mommy, then I should call me.
I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to listen.
Right, I'm being nosy.
Look, the wisdom. I'm all ears. What you say?
For the wisdom. So I am this connection between dance and spirituality and the inner self. If someone wants to study that, where would they start?
They would start all the way back to sacred dances that women did. I would say all the way. Yes. Speaking of circles, sacred dances that women did in circles. If you look at the origins of dance, it was always connected to women, and it was always connected to spirituality. There was no separation, and nature, of course.
Yeah.
So if you looked into those three things, you will find that over time, when religion came in, things shifted, but ultimately, we've always had that connection between dance and spirit.
That is so true.
You look at the history of dance, you can't separate the two.
That's so true. Every culture too, because you got the belly dances in the Middle East.
Yep, that's one of the oldest dances in the world.
The hula dance in Hawaiian culture. A lot of the traditional African dances from South Africa to Senegal. There's a cipher, there's a circle, and that's so true. I never even thought about that.
Circles remind us that we're whole.
So, Sanchel, tell us before we wrap up this ultimate Afrobeats experience. Can you tell us the details?
So the Ultimate Afrobeats experience is taking place March 30th at the Community Education Center, and it's going to be a 3-hour event. We're starting off with a dance demo that I'll be leading. I'll be breaking down some basic Afrobeats movement, maybe some to spice it up, might be a little harder, but definitely beginner friendly, open to children. And then after that, we'll have a party, and you can try out your dance moves on the floor. We're gonna also have vendors. We're gonna have food. And yeah, just a lot of fun, live DJ and djembe at the same time. So it's really, every time I host this event, it's really truly awesome. So if y'all can make it out, it's going to be March 30th starting at 7 p.m.
Yeah, how can people get tickets?
You can get tickets through my link in my bio. You follow me on Instagram. It's just my name, Sanchel Brown, and you'll see that I have tickets. Eventbrite, you can get them, or you can come to the door. So if you want the details, you can come to my Instagram page.
Okay, so Instagram, Sanchel Brown, Sanchel Brown, BROWN. And on Eventbrite, you would search the Ultimate Afrobeats Experience.
Yes.
And Sanchel Brown, or you can get it at the door. And you can follow Sanchel on her social media platforms. Her daughter doesn't have a profile yet, so she'll be able to meet her in some years' time. We're going to start with that for now. Takia?
Yes. What did you say? I couldn't hear you what you said.
Girl, that was the alley-oop. I was coughing.
Oh wait. Hold up. The ref blew the whistle. I got distracted. I'm back now.
Anyway.
That was the call to action, Takia.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see that button.
Anyway. Well,
yes.
So we are excited about you. We're excited about your work. And we're proud to know you. This is good. This is dope.
People
Thank,
need to come. This could be a jump off for them. It could be a new season of movement
we're in
attending
the
your
spring
event,
equinox. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Thank
we
y'all.
right?
I'm grateful for the support and just y'all helping me in my healing path and how I am showing up to help others heal themselves.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, which
absolutely.
heals us even deeper. You
yes.
know, that's the byproduct of that. So, yeah. All right, Polaris, Cam,
Word.
sending
Awesome.
y'all love out to Vegas from Brooklyn, New York.
I'll
Takia,
take
where
it
you
all.
at? What
South
country are you in?
Florida, South Florida, the
I
Sunshine
said, what
State.
country you in? And she said South Florida.
Yes, it is a country all of its own. I tell
Yes,
you
we
what.
we see it in the news, baby girl. We see it in the
That
news.
part. The news can
Yes.
confirm.
Well, this is the Lyrical Meditation Cipher podcast, and we're so glad that you tuned in, even if only for a moment. We're going to be doing a lot more on video, a lot more on live, heading towards YouTube, and eventually we'll be sharing the audio for these on the other podcast platforms. And the podcast episodes that we've done up until now will be available to you. Season 2, we've got Vanessa Brantley Newton coming for 2 special episodes. Clay Ross. Vanessa is the award-winning children's book illustrator. And then we also had a conversation with Clay Ross from Ranky Tanky, the Grammy award-winning group from South Carolina. And then we had a special episode on meditation. So you don't want to miss any of these. And so check them out. Look out for them within the next couple of weeks. Um, and I just want to say thank you for listening to the Lyrical Meditation Cipher podcast, where we breathe,
Breathe, we spit,
We
and we
fit and
vibe.
we vibe.
yes. Okay,
Peace and love,
y'all.
everybody. Peace and love.
Peace
Peace.
Thanks
and
for
love.
joining us.
Peace.
Say it again, say it again, say
I
it
love
again.
her.